Assalamu alaikum. Today we continue with the next section in this text. So far, we discussed the different marks that are used to indicate different states, meaning different states of the word in a sentence. Now, this part of the text is more like a review of what we've learned so far, or a regrouping of the thoughts. المعربات قسمان. المعربات are the words that accept change, or their ends accept changes. And these can be divided into two parts, قسمان, ones that use movements as a mark, and others that use letters as a mark. قسمان are two parts, قسمان. قسم يعرب بالحركات. A part is يعرب. The word يعرب or إعراب, and this is the noun here, معربات for the plural, is in Arabic to explain or express. So you can say أعرب عن نفسه, he expressed himself. So that's the origin of the word. In grammar, it means the changes at the end, because they express the position of the sentence, or they explain its position in the sentence. What is it? A subject, an object, and so on. So a part is or goes under the state of i'rab, or is expressed by, or its state is expressed by movements, al-harakat. We discussed those, and we saw what types there are and with what words they are used. So a quick review here. You can see this is al-qalam, the pen. Qalam is pen, the pen, al-qalam. It's defined, so you get this u, a, or e with it. This here is the present tense verb with a consonant ending. لم يكتب, he did not write. This is the negation لم, he did not. So you can say لم يك. So these are the movements within the word. They are fixed unless the tense changes. So here, this is the sukun. So these are the marks, the movements, or the absence of the movement. That's how it's used, and we saw these here. So in here, this is an indefinite noun, qalam, a pen, as in you say in English, a pen, or an apple, if it's not defined. Here you add an n to that movement. So instead of u, you say un. Now here, it's the same thing, un, either double these, this one is doubled, or you can see it like this, and there are some other ways it will be different. So this is an example of how it would look if it indicates a nonation, an, un. This is un here, an, this one is an, and this is n. So we saw examples of these. Now of course this here, you can see it, it looks like here it's indefinite, but because we added this here, this noun, the definite noun, al-muallim, the teacher. So if I say qalamul muallim, now I have to use these movement, u, a, or e with it. So we had some discussion of this before, but this here is just to give you an example of, you can see it written like this, just like an indefinite noun, but you will not see the nonation movement used here. You will see it just like the defined noun here, u, a, e, because it says here the pen of the teacher. It's not just any pen. So these are the movements. When they say a part of these words will take the movements, and we saw an example of that. So here they list them again. Another part here, it says وقسم يعرب بالحروف. So one part is expressed, or the changes are shown with using movements, and one is by letters, al-huruf, and we saw examples of that. Now here they list these types that are expressed or goes under i'rab by these movements. 4 types, أربعة أنواع, 4 types. These will use the movements to indicate the changes. الاسم المفرد, the singular noun, we saw an example of that. وجمع التكسير, and the broken plural. وجمع المؤنث السالم, and the sound feminine plural. We also saw an example of that. والفعل المضارع الذي لم يتصل بآخره شيء, and the present tense verb that nothing was attached to it, no pronouns were attached to it. And as we saw, the ones that end with a vowel behave differently. So these four use the movements, but there are some exceptions. Here it says وكلها ترفع بالضمة وتنصب بالفتحة وتخفض بالكسرة وتجزم بالسكون. Now this statement here says that in general these four use the movements in this way, but then he starts to indicate the differences. So كلها, all of it, are raised ترفع بالضمة with the U sound at the end. وتنصب بالفتحة, and it uses the فتحة, this A here, to indicate the state going under the nasb here. So if it's under the state of nasb, you show it by using the فتحة. وتخفض بالكسرة, and it's lowered by the kasra, this E here. And we saw examples. If you get like a preposition here, like this ba here, by, this ba, by al-kasra, bil-kasra, I had to give it the E there because of this preposition before it. وتجزم بالسكون, and you use this small circle here to indicate there is no movement. Of course, as we saw, this is not true, because this here only goes with verbs, and here there are some nouns they will not take this kasra, and here some nouns they will not take this fatha here. And now he starts to talk about the exceptions. So وخرج عن ذلك ثلاثة, and three did not follow this rule, not all of them using these, and now that's where he starts to break it down. And we saw examples of that before, so this is more like a review. So the three that don't follow, take all these movements the same way, is this here, the sound feminine plural. Notice these lines that I've drawn here. It takes this kasra, this E, the sound feminine plural, but it does not take the fatha like other nouns. That's the way the Arabs used it. So I put an X on it to indicate that. This way you can look at it. Hopefully it will help you just quickly review this. So here it says جمع المؤنث السالم ينصب بالكسرة. The sound feminine plural, it goes under the state of nasb by the kasra, this E here, not as the others with the fatha. So now you know this is different here. The sound feminine plural, it's different. والاسم الذي لا ينصرف, we talked about this noun that does not behave, its end does not behave the same way as other nouns. We saw examples of that. So here you just follow these lines. It does not take the kasra, just like the other nouns. Instead it takes this fatha here. So these are the exceptions and how they behave. والفعل المضارع المعتل الآخر. Now this here, the present tense verb that has a vowel at the end of it. So it does not take this jazm here, this mark for no movement. You omit the letter, and we saw that last time. Then he starts listing words that express their change in the sentence by using letters. And there are also four types. التثنية. One of them is the dual case. We will not talk about this now. Next time, inshallah, we cover these. So now, just to get a review, we will look at this. Here is the book الأساس في قواعد اللغة العربية. You have the link for it in the description. These are the pages I'm using in it. So 9, 10, 15, 30, 33, 36, and 43. So these pages that I will scroll through are these in this book. So you can review, take a look what are the singular and the broken plural and so on. So here we see an example of a singular noun, تلميذ, a pupil. So this is masculine, pupil. Notice the on there. If I add the preposition من, from, if I say from تلميذ, from a pupil, in تلميذ, notice the position, its position in the sentence is different. That's why its end changed. And because it's indefinite, took this nonation there. أنت تلميذ. Notice this is the state of being raised. So on here. I saw تلميذا. I saw a pupil. Notice the an there. That's the nasb. The state of nasb, it's indefinite, so the an is there. Now, if you pause at it, there is a rule for them. They add this a there. So it's different than the on or the in. They usually, some nouns, they take this here, and. So if I pause at it, I say tilmida. In order to remind you that you have to extend that and not pronounce the an sound, they add this there. So just so you be familiar, if you see it like this or you see it without this there, just recognize what this is, or at least know there is a reason for it. It's not just a typo. So you might see it like this, tilmida, with the nonation there. So I saw a pupil. Notice because of the change of its position in the sentence, now it's a subject. Here it's here it's an object. Here it's a subject, on. And here the preposition causes it to lower its end, to get the in sound here. So this is an example of a singular noun. Now same thing here with the feminine. Notice this is here is a singular noun, on, tilmidatun. This is the feminizing ta, the moving feminizing ta. So tilmidatun, same thing. We'll take the three movement, an, in. Here we have the sound feminine plural, tilmidat, the female pupils. So tilmidatun. But notice here I did not put the an, the nasb, because of what I just discussed, that the sound feminine plural does not take this an sound here. So this is here tilmidatun or tilmidatin in any case. So if I say رأيت tilmidatin, I don't say tilmidatan as I would usually say. So that's just a quick reminder of it. Notice here it's defined at-tilmidatu. So notice u and e there because of this defining article al, at-tilmidatu. On this page you can review the feminine and masculine.